It's
We ready to go? Yeah?
So are we
Yeah,
audible?
press the button.
Alright. Alright,
Alright.
hopefully this
Down.
works.
So, 3, 2, 1, go.
We in?
We in
Hey,
there.
okay.
We in. We in.
Timer work.
I actually didn't realise the stream could hear us already. All right.
Alright. So, welcome to DDD with me, Salad, Punchy, and
Useless Brit.
useless Brit over there.
Thanks for remembering me, Rebel.
Yeah. We have 4 useless Brits.
See the hesitation there is like, do I use his real name or do I use his like internet name? that's the case with all of us. We're all like personal friends, so we keep tripping on that.
Right, so in this first fight, I'm just basically going to attack Ursula until her HP hits 0. There's not much. This is meant to be a tutorial fight. The only thing you need to make sure is that you don't use the potions that are in your deck, because we need to sell them later.
And there's a bit of RNG with whether Riku hits her or not for a bit of damage.
Basically, her entire pattern's random.
Yeah.
If she just like flies away, you can't hit her.
Yeah,
Pulls her face back.
that move she did at the start where she grabbed me, that was also pretty random. You can dodge it, but if you're not ready for it, then and then after that you have to wait for Riku to go and hit her. Otherwise, you just sit there.
I suppose we should probably say what the video game actually is.
Yeah.
We haven't
Well,
done that yet.
Well, it's a Kingdom Hearts game.
It's,
Yeah.
it's one of the Kingdom Hearts games.
Yeah.
The 8th in the series. The 3rd game's coming out soon.
Yeah.
But it's Dream Drop Distance. This is the drop part. We'll see the dreams later.
Yeah. So we're doing New Game Plus because it carries over a bunch of Dream Eaters, which we use to grab some commands to beat this game quickly, and some abilities which complement those commands. Right here, this is the kind of the gummy missions of this game. They're called dives, and you actually need to be good at these. You need to get A ranks in all of them in a speedrun to unlock a Keyblade, which has the highest magic stat you can obtain in any % run. Well, that was useful. You can bonk twice in this one and be fine. You just need to get enough points.
And Dream Eaters, for those of you who aren't primed on like the particular manner in which Kingdom Hearts communicates, is basically Pokemon. They're little creatures, they follow you. If you get like them to certain levels, you unlock different commands. And in order to have useful commands from the get-go, rather than having to grind for them, you do New Game Plus. You don't keep your levels or like that sort of thing. You just keep Dream Eater abilities, I think. I'm
Yeah,
not totally
yeah.
sure about
You don't
that.
get money, you don't get your commands. New Game Plus only carries over Dream Eaters.
Yeah, and we do that because on New Game, the only like sound difference is that you spend a while grinding up the points necessary to get Dream Eaters to a certain point to get those useful abilities, and that involves playing a bunch of dumb mini games, and that sucks. So let's not.
And right here, you've seen the main movement of this game, which is flow motion, which is something that was introduced in this game.
You sick parkour.
Sick parkour. Anyway, this is actually one of the only instances that you can do this in a Kingdom Hearts game. This is meant to be a tutorial fight, but you can just quit out of it. And when you quit out of it, the game just puts you to the next bit.
Oh. Quit the tutorial.
Everybody needs a tutorial.
Yep.
Especially when you played this game.
And now there is a Force tutorial now, and it's to how Dream Eaters work. So, yeah, this is pretty much useless in New Game Plus, but you have to do it. Essentially, it tells you that you can pet them, you can make them, and it shows you that you can get abilities from them. Did I get blue eye? I did.
The 3 useful things you can do with pets. Pet them,
Well, if I
make
was
them,
doing a
get
new
abilities
game,
from them.
if I was doing a new game run, that would be the perfect start. You need the blue eyes
Why do you need the blue eyes?
because it gives you a magic boost.
Really?
No, when the first time I saw this, I called it a dog. It's actually a hamster.
It's
called
hamster
Meow.
called Meow Wow.
So there's a culmination of different animals in play here.
And you can either you can poke them, or if you hold the button, you can like you can pet them. In this bit, you need to get him to do this rolling animation 4 times, and then it lets you go on to the next bit.
So Kingdom Hearts is briefly Neopets for a bit while we do this.
Yeah. Well, luckily we only do this in the first 15 minutes, and then we never enter these menus ever again.
So I guess if you reset after about 20 minutes of the run, then that can be quite painful. Just a bunch of petting
You gotta
animals
pet the cats
for the day.
over
Pet
and
the
over
cats
again to get
over
the
and over.
stuff.
Entire stream is just petting cats.
Yeah. I usually try not to reset when I play this game, because
That's very understandable.
This
And now,
game-
suddenly we're Riku?
yes, in the
Why?
because the game tells you must play as Riku.
Okay.
In order for the story to progress in this game, you have to do certain things as both Sora and Riku. When it gets to completing worlds, you have to have done a certain number of worlds as each of the characters for the game to progress. So at certain points we'll drop, and so we'll be dropping at certain points to complete some of the game as one character, then we'll go back to the other one. We try not to drop unintentionally because that can completely ruin your route for this game. So we don't tend to worry about it because the drop meter doesn't actually deplete as quick as people think it does. It's pretty lenient. You get tons of time. And as you've probably guessed by now, mashing X is the fastest way to move in these, because it gives you a short burst of speed forward.
So you actually get to control how fast the gummy ship type missions are in this game.
Yes. Yes. And because you, well, the fastest way to do them is to A rank them, and you have to A rank them anyway, so. There's another, the game forces you to make a Komori bat here for some reason, because usually you're meant to have at least 2 Dream Eaters with you. So. Now if I get blue eyes here, this is perfect RNG for New Game.
Convert into a New Game run.
Wait, if you get blue eyes?
Yeah.
Nah, yellow eyes, forget it, it's New Game Plus.
Forget it. You forget it.
That's whack. New Game Plus it is.
Basically, what the eye signifies what disposition the Dream Eaters are in, and depending on which one they're in, they have different abilities that they can grant you.
I did not know that at all.
Yeah.
That explains that.
And it also changes what moves they can learn.
Ah.
So now here's another tutorial fight that I'm just going to quit out of.
If only we could do that for every fight in the entire game.
Well, you wouldn't have enough EXP to beat the game at that point.
That's, yeah, good point. Okay, fine. You're shutting me down. Every idea I have. I think I've got something here, and you just ruin it straight away.
And something else with this game, you're probably used to seeing most RPGs finish like probably in KH2 you finish like mid-30s. In this game, you get to level 13 with Sora and level 15 with Riku, and that's high enough to beat the game because of damage scaling and the abilities that we use and the Keyblade that we happen to get. Leveling up any more does nothing.
Yeah, so as I recall, Dream Drop Distance works fairly similarly to another Kingdom Hearts game that I'm familiar with, where like it has very harsh scaling where if you're below a certain threshold, you do nothing, and if you're above that threshold, you do like all the damage.
Yeah.
So you just need to get enough to get over that particular threshold and no more, because it has like strong diminishing returns. It's basically a level gate. It's kind of whack, but nevertheless, it's a thing.
Yeah. And I'm picking up some items around here to sell for something I'm going to get to in a minute, where we get the abilities from our Dream Eaters.
It's
And
not
flow
very
motion.
important ability, but
They are very
we may
important
see it a
abilities.
little bit throughout the run.
They're very important abilities.
So flow motion movement's cool, but like you activate it by like dodging into parts of the environment to get this glowing purple wall jump thing, and it also affects like special moves that you can do out of it. But because it's affected by dodging, very frequently in combat, it's quite easy to dodge into a wall and accidentally enter flow motion, and everything starts going wrong. But moving around, though, it's pretty cool. Because you can do sick parkour off everything. Reach tall buildings like that quickly.
And technically, in most situations, it's faster to do this dash, but you have to hit another wall for it
Yeah,
to
you
be
have to
fast.
maintain it. You have to bounce between walls.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you
Which
get,
is
like, that
actually
severe
kind of hard to
impact.
control.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate how good the music is?
The music in this game is the best part about this game.
It's a class remix of the Travis
The music in this game is pretty sick. It's one of the reasons why I actually speedrun this game for as long as I decided to, because I liked the music.
So let me hit you with a hot take, right? Can you think of a good speed game with bad music? Because I can't. Seriously, think about it. I got nothing.
We're already nervous as it is,
The
and you're
blank
putting us on the
expression.
spot.
You're putting us
put us
right
on-
on the spot.
I have
Nothing.
no idea.
Exactly. You can't think of one because it doesn't exist. Good music, it's the key.
Yeah. You can't sit playing a game hundreds of times for possibly multiple hours with shit music. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that one. And since we know nothing about this game, by the way, in case you're wondering, we should probably sit here and just discuss the music the entire time. We just sit here review it. These two can talk about strats and whatever. That's unimportant. We'll just talk about music.
Those guys are plebs. We
Good
the
music.
knowledgeable sorts.
So
More so though.
this is where we get basically one of our main commands for the whole game.
Yeah, this is where we do like the minor grinding section, but like less so than you would on a new game.
Okay,
Yeah.
because I actually know a little bit about this one, can I talk about it?
Go for
Sure.
This is going to be the one thing I say for the entire run.
And it will be completely wrong.
So this is some of it will be very wrong. Please correct me at all points. Okay, so this is the water bubbles thing, right?
I got it. There's
Got
actually there's a one-frame trick that you can do there where you can skip the animation of the secret portal thing opening by mashing the change spirits buttons.
And you have missed that pretty much every time in practice, I think.
Yes, because
Yeah.
it's one frame.
Right, and we got it there. Awesome, blessing the run.
I didn't get it there.
Yeah.
But one out of 4 is good. So
Yeah, and for these mini games that we see where there are a few bubbles on the screen and Rebel quits out of them immediately, on the original 3DS version of the game, you had to do all of these mini games, and they last about a minute. So overall, this section took about like 14 odd minutes to complete.
on
Something like that.
3DS, this a good segment was between 24 and 25
Wow.
minutes.
Yeah.
On this version, it is on this version you want between let me do that. On this version you want between about a 14-minute and a 15-minute time.
Okay. Yeah. So it saves a lot of time, thankfully.
You don't actually have to do the mini games on New Game Plus, at least. I think on New Game you kind of need to for the points, but whatever. You can just enter the mini game and then
No,
exit
you quit out on.
You quit out on New Game as well.
You quit out on New Game because
Okay.
you buy so many that it doesn't matter.
Fair
So
enough.
now if people want to count, I'm trying to keep track of one of the purple things, the magic lapins, and I basically guess when it has about 280 link points, and then I can grab all the abilities I need on one of them. I usually use about 16 barrels. Well, I usually go down to about 5 left, and then I check. Usually I've counted wrong, but
No Roar's sad face.
yeah. Shout outs to my names.
Brilliant pet names.
Yeah, Raw's XD 1 and 2.
When's the earliest you can skip those?
You can actually hit.
Ooh, wow.
Ooh,
You
before
can-
it even
You
starts.
can do that, for example.
Yeah. You can skip it pretty early.
Frame perfect.
0-0.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
The timer didn't even show up that fast.
Ah, 59.93.
59.93.
It's just getting worse and worse.
That's whack.
Yeah, man. Check now, because they not change party. They seem to be doing well. Yeah, they are. Oh, 9-5 at the end. Also, shout outs to the music that you don't get to hear. On 3DS, you heard the song that plays in that a lot in this segment, and it's a song that goes la 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 for about as long as it possibly can.
Oh,
About a minute, I
it's,
think.
It's droning. You talk about how good the music in this game is when you're not dealing with the whole
La.
3 meter aspect of it.
Yeah, the Dream Eater songs aren't amazing.
3 meters in general are kind of a lot of faff in this
Yeah.
game.
You're kidding me. 1 point short. Dream Eaters for you, everyone.
Yeah, the amount
Oh,
you
that,
get
that
is
was very
like,
disappointing.
The amount you get is random
yeah, it's
from
like
everyone.
Plus 19, plus 10, plus 25.
Yes, it's completely random
spread.
how much you get. So the reason why we grab the abilities from these Dream Eaters, and they're the ones that stay in our party, is because the 2 magic lapins can learn an ability later in the game called Spirit Roar that pretty much doubles your damage if they cast it on you. And abilities in this game are actually kind of locked to your Dream Eaters. You have to have them equipped in order to have the abilities active. Otherwise, it just shows up as you have it available. So it's not like the previous game called one of the previous games in the series called BBS, where when you unlocked an ability, it was just there forever.
Yeah, you can only have so much available at one time.
Yeah.
Dream drop distance, so we pick the loadout. As you notice, you're getting a lot of magic boosts and magic hastes to speed up magic commands. This will be a very magic-heavy speedrun, because physical attacks in this game, bluntly, suck. They're quite bad, so use magic, lots of it. Boost magic, lots of it. Use Balloon Ra, especially Balloon Ra. Balloon Ra is the single best ability in the game, bar literally nothing. Literally nothing.
Yep.
Nothing resists it, nothing blocks it, it does 1,000,000 damage, it's great.
Oh, and something else about this game is you can skip the intros of boss fights, which is pretty good. I don't know why you can do that in this game. It's the only game in the series where you can skip the boss intros. So
Balloon Ra time! Get used to seeing
All
it.
the balloons.
Look at that. See, one hit, half a bar. Another hit, another half a bar. That's it. That's Balloon Ra.
So balloons all day. And he should die here. There you go. So that's a taste of what's to come.
That is Balloon Ra.
I don't know the name of that boss, but he just went to the worst kids party ever. What a terrible experience.
For some reason, all the bosses in this game are like painted in clown colors for some reason. That boss is called Hocker Monkey.
He knows the law. He knows the law.
Yes, I do. I don't know why they're painted like clowns, but I at least know the names of the things I'm killing.
Don't even get time to learn their names before they die. Just pop balloons in their face.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, who cares at that point if they're dying to balloons?
So I remember you telling me, and stop me if I say something really stupid, but like balloon is water element or something? Or some sort of like spell element that like nothing in the game seems to resist?
It doesn't have an...
It just straight up
doesn't have an element
lacks
in
an
this
element entirely.
Yeah, it just doesn't have an element in this game.
Brilliant. So nothing resists it because it can't be resisted by default.
Yes. Nothing can resist it in this game.
Okay. I thought it was just an element that didn't have any resistances.
No, it just
doesn't have.
It just doesn't have an element, so nothing can resist it. And we did try other commands in this game, but there's only basically the only ones that are useful are ones that complement Balloon, and those are very few and far between. We do grab a couple in the run, but Balloon is so strong that it's pointless in using anything else. There is a balloonless category for this game, and in that category you grab all the windmill commands and you spin on all the enemies.
Spin on all the enemies. Like, that's how you know something is really way too good, when they have to create a separate category that's just don't use that thing. No balloons.
But instead use something that's just as good.
Hey man,
It highlights the problem with speedrunning, really. Don't use this really powerful thing and everyone just defaults to the next most powerful thing.
so well, Riku has to go fight a version of Hocker Monkey now. So, because the way this game works, both Sora and Riku go through the same world, but they're kind of parallel versions of each other, where different things can happen. But there's a couple of instances where they fight the same boss, but they're kind of different variations of them. And I kill those enemies
Picking up XP.
Yeah, basically you want the magic increase. Everything in this game is for the magic increase.
Again, hitting that threshold where you have enough magic to actually do max damage, like the big damage. Otherwise, you cannot just do chip damage, and it's bad. Takes
Yeah,
too long.
we didn't used to grab that level up because there was back when this game was on 3DS, no one bothered to actually like do any form of routing for this game. We were just like, Balloon's good. We are going to use Balloon.
That hasn't changed.
No.
That hasn't budged an inch in
No.
5 years.
We actually have an EXP route for this game now.
Real routing.
Because
Revolution.
yeah, because 3DS was limited to 2 saves.
Yeah, that
couldn't
makes
do
routing
anything.
that thing kind of difficult.
Yeah. Oh, so this is the second Hocker Monkey fight. The area for this boss is atrocious.
Super, super awkward. Like, you dodge roll anywhere, you hit the wall, you accidentally activate flow motion, and the next thing you know, you're on the other side of a known universe. Boing.
So that stuns him and gives you enough time to get in 2
so
ballooners.
much damage. And the balloons, like, they track as well. Like, watch that balloon. Look at him go. He's got it. They track.
They home in on enemies as
They
well.
track across the screen. It's so good.
Welcome to DDD, guys. You balloon and they follow everywhere. So even though we are just using balloon over and over and over again, a lot of this game is knowing the areas that you're fighting in, because balloons, when you use them, will try and home in on enemies, but they will sometimes pop on walls and things like that. So you want to make sure that when you use a balloonera, you are either going to hit the enemy right away, or your balloons aren't going to pop on walls. So you need to understand the areas that you're actually fighting in, because otherwise you lose out on tons of damage.
Right, and there are a few fights where the enemy is grounded, right? So you can sort of stand right next to them and use balloons.
You can stand right next to them, and like you can pop balloons right on them, which does an insane amount of damage.
Right.
So yeah, this is the first dive boss, Queen Buzzerfly, and there is a one cycle that I'll be going for. Hope. This is probably, I wouldn't say one of the scary A ranks. It gets scary if you miss the one cycle, but it's not too bad.
Right, and A ranks, I don't think we've mentioned this specifically, but it's a mixture of having a good time and having enough stars that you see in the top left, except for the dive bosses, where the stars don't matter. But yeah, so he needs to get both of those things to get the A rank.
Well, this is going to get sketchy now. So hopefully it gives me a good attack pattern, and then I'll still get a rank. And there we go.
There you go.
So you need under a 1. I only know this one because you have to know what you need to get for a 2 cycle to be able to get an A rank. You need under, like, it's 120 or something you need to get. So with a 2 cycle, you do cut it kind of close. If like you mess up twice, then you don't get an A rank.
So what happens if you don't get an A rank?
You miss out on a Keyblade at the end of the game, and you're just under damaged. It's more important on Riku than it is on Sora. Sora, you lose about a minute if you don't have it. Riku, you probably lose like 3.
Oh wow.
Those damage thresholds are harsh if you don't hit the...
Yeah. And it's either 3 because you decide I'm just going to YOLO the bosses, or it's 3 because you have to grind for 3 minutes to get 2 level ups.
Oh jeez.
So basically you reset.
Yeah, basically
So A ranks are very, very important.
Yeah. Grab that save. So I grabbed that save because I'm going to walk back to it from the end of this segment I'm doing here. And this game's not like KH2 where if you just enter the room, you have the save. You actually have to touch the save, otherwise it doesn't unlock. So this next bot here is Wargoyle. We're not fighting him yet. We just have to run away from him for some reason. So he's basically shooting a bunch of attacks at us, and we just have to get to the end of this bridge. Bit short, that's fine. And after this, we go into Little Town segment where we basically do the same thing. We're just running away from Wargoyle. And we have to just, there's a bit of debris that we have to destroy, which takes 7 hits, and Balloonera is exactly 7 hits, so you just go into it. Balloonera.
It's so good. It's 7 hits, Balloonera, 7 hits. It's perfect. It's the perfect tool.
Now balloons can now completely destroy construction.
Yes.
Which is fantastic.
Yes. So that's the end of this segment here. There's a save point that pops up right in front of you, right after this bit, which we then leave and enter back into the world.
Which I'm sure would have made sense if you knew what the story was about and everything. Like the fact that you have to walk back to this place.
Yeah.
You go back and forth, you follow the Disney movies. You ever seen The Hunchback of Notre Dame? It's that. That's the plot of this. Okay? Okay, good. Gotcha.
Apart from you don't fight, I can't remember his name,
The guy who sings Hellfire, I think
Yeah,
that's pretty,
yeah,
good,
yeah,
pretty
yeah.
much good enough.
Yeah.
Frollo,
Yeah.
Frollo, yeah.
that one.
You fight Wargoyle instead, which is a I once heard it called Candy Fruit Bat or something. I heard it called once.
Okay.
He gets all up in that girl.
So if you're at this position, he can't hit you with any attacks. And then this stuns him. And also gives your balloons enough time to recharge. So
And we happen to be sort of flying right now because of the surface that
Yes.
we're currently over, which is like one of the only points in the game where we're going to see this, or the only point.
There's one other
Okay.
chance where you get to see it. This isn't going too well because he grabbed me. He chose to do a few kind of attacks that I couldn't do anything about. Yeah.
So yeah, that was a fight that didn't go too well, and it still took about 20 seconds because
Yeah.
of balloon.
Well, there's nowhere for balloons really to pop in that area, so it's fairly easy to...
You can't really whiff them in wide open spaces
Yeah.
like that. They'll find their mark eventually. They might take a very circuitous route to it, but they'll hit it.
And now we get to the what most people know is the easiest dive in the game. Riku's grid dive is it's pretty good. So you start off by having to dodge through a few walls where these vehicles are rising up from.
One prize.
Yes, there's only one prize thing in this level. Thanks, Riku. And if you position yourself about here, you can just mash X to get to the end. There is no reason to collect anything or dodge anything or try anything. You can just sit at the bottom. Because there's only one prize pod to collect in this. It's only a time that you need, and if you're mashing X, you get it every time. See, even the bricks move out of your way.
Yeah, they move out. That's very polite.
Yeah. Look, there is only one prize pod right at the end. You need 0 of 1. You need 1 of 1 to complete this.
Win the game.
Have you ever missed that in a run?
No, because you can't. You have to go through that thing.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Okay. The hitboxes are quite generous as well for those.
Wow, yeah, the hitboxes for those are massive. You kind of see that in the dive after this one for Prankster's Paradise, where you can collect them quite easily. So yeah, this is Light Cycle. This is kind of like an auto scroller. You just I think it's like you have to complete like a lap and a half of this entire thing. So if you have any donations, this would be a good time because I'm just mashing square.
Yeah, I have a $5 donation from James H saying, "Love what you're all doing there. Please make sure to remind all the glorious viewers that their Twitch Prime free subscriptions can be put to a great cause. I wish everyone good luck with the runs and also all the staff who make this whole process flow. Cheers from the USA." Thank you very much for that donation.
But yeah, we actually, back when I first started to run this game, I thought you had to kill all the enemies, so I spent forever trying to kill all the enemies. And then Faye came into my chat and she was like, yeah, "You've just got to mash square." And sooner or later, the game decides that you can move on. This is, and when it decides that you can move on, it spawns a boss, which you do actually need to kill. So hopefully I'll do it in a minute. Lovely. You lose a slight bit of time if you get hit by the laser thing at the back of the orange bikes, but not too much at all. And this should be it. There we go.
And like the orange laser from the enemy bikes being able to hit you, you can also use the blue laser that extends from the back of yourself to hit the enemies as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to see that a little bit here. Rebel knows the position that the boss is going to come in, so he just stands in front of it, and the blue laser does a lot of damage. And then when he goes in front, he's going to be pressing X to use Assault Shot and to get extra damage in.
Yeah. Jump slightly to avoid getting hit there, because sometimes it can stop you from shooting. And yeah, sometimes the boss will do this, where he'll get too far away from you to laser. And it should be fine now. So he should be dead in a second. There we go.
Nice.
You want to kill him before he gets around that corner, because if he gets around that corner, he'll dash behind you again, and then you'll have to do the wait for him to catch up to you again. And he kind of just... he flies off.
Don't even kill him. You don't even get the satisfaction of
No.
seeing him disappear.
He just flies off. He's like, no.
No, I'm out.
Yeah, screw this. See you
I'm leaving before you start using balloons on me.
Yeah.
later. Smart.
So the only reason that fight takes so long is you can't use balloons. He knows you can't use balloons on motorcycles. It's against the law. I think.
You can play card games on them, but you can't use balloons.
No balloons.
And I changed my keyblade there because this keyblade has a higher magic stat. I didn't mean to go there. I need to go to the top one.
And magic is the only relevant statistic. Strength. Does strength ever come up?
Yes, it does.
Okay, I'm wrong.
Because we have rooted in the use of one of the attacks that you can do with your Dream Eaters called Comet. And when your strength is high enough, you can basically clear entire fights of enemies in no time at all.
Yeah, you nuke the room, which we'll see a little bit later.
It's
for a
basically
couple of fights.
it's basically a screen nuke. And yep, so this boss fight is using balloon. There's a lot of walls that your balloons can pop on here, so you got to make sure that you're using them in the correct places. After a certain number of enemies are killed, the next wave will spawn. After this, there's some deer. Well, they're probably elk or something. I'm bad with animals in this game because they've all got stupid names like Yogi Ram and Tama Sheep and things like that. I mean, magic lapins, the things I've got with me, are meant to be like rabbits. They don't look anything like them.
Lapin, of course, being French for rabbit.
Yep.
It's my one contribution to any knowledge about this game at all.
So now there's a bit of movement that you got to do, and then you get shown the reality shift for this world, which is kind of like a mini game that most worlds have. And those guns are very annoying. They can stun lock you and kill you very easily.
Zoom, enhance, hack the matrix.
Yes, so the position of those words on the screen and the button that you have to press to activate them are random each time. So you just have to pay close attention to the buttons that come up.
Yeah. Try not to look like an idiot by pressing the wrong button too many times, because otherwise it kicks you out of the minigame.
You can just enter it straight away again, but it's just sort of like a stern finger wag, like, no,
Just like,
hit the buttons.
There's a quick elevator to go down, so I'm just going to do this. For no reason, because you have to wait for this to scroll down anyway.
I thought it looked cool. So.
I mean, it does look cool. Oh, and there are a few differences between the English version and the Japanese version of this game. So you probably saw when I used that reality shift there, my balloon command actually got eaten. Basically, in this game you activate reality shifts with triangle and circle, and in Japanese the circle button attacks. But in this game it jumps, and you can't jump and you can't attack and use a command at the same time, so it doesn't get eaten. But in English you can jump and command at the same time, so it eats commands. so like sometimes you'll see me like throw out a guard before I use a reality shift, or try and hover over a command that's recharging before I use it, to make sure that something that might be useful at a later point isn't eaten because I'm trying to do a reality shift or continue a phase of a fight or something. I missed the wall there, that's fine. Oh god. Jesus, man, go away.
Just take the elevator with them standing there.
And now he disappears.
He's like, I'm not going up there, I'll just leave him.
Yeah. That guy chases you down pretty hard. He doesn't care, he's like, I will find you. So this takes you to where the boss of this area is, which is actually the boss that we face in the light cycle bit, but we actually get to kill him this time. So, and this is one of the only instances of a boss in the Cage series that has basically hard HP gates that you have to use reality shifts or some kind of external thing to get past. So, and if you fail them, the boss comes back with a little bit more of his health, so not failing these is rather important. Thanks. So one thing about the balloon command is once the balloons are out, you want to get hit at the end of the animation because it actually cancels it. And anytime you're hit before the balloons come out, your balloons just won't come out, and you'll just get a hit. So a lot of times I'll try and take a hit after the initial animation of the balloons before Riku jumps, because the game doesn't actually need Riku to hit the balloons for them to actually like start flying around.
Yeah, they disperse on their own regardless, so getting hit out of the animation where you hit them gives you more frame advantage.
This is the second HP gate. And well, should be over in a second. And you notice every time I went through the first 2 HP gates, I used a balloon before I went into. Well, thanks. Before I went into the reality shift, and that was to basically make sure that as soon as I'm out of the reality shift, a balloon will either start flying around or hit the boss like straight away.
As soon as you've hit that HP gate.
Yeah. So that was Riku's grid. So next is well, it's kind of Riku's shortest world. It's a bit of movement and then you fight a boss, which is his version of Prankster's Paradise, which if you've played KH1 is basically the same as that. You're inside a Monstro looking for Pinocchio. Bit like Deja Vu if you played the first game.
But with more balloons.
But with more balloons. It's more of a party in this game.
I wouldn't call it that personally, but I can understand your affection.
So I'm just going to be flying through these nets, collecting some of these, and then well, for A ranking this dive, you actually get a Ballooner command. So A ranking this dive is actually very important. One thing is you can A rank to get the A rank rewards for dives. You can A rank them as either Sora or Riku. It doesn't matter, but for the Keyblade at the end of the game that we get, you need to have done it as you need to have A ranked all of them as each of the characters individually. So the A rank rewards are different to the full A rank reward for some reason. That should be enough from these guys.
If I had to say anything about this game, like these dives are really quite creative and interesting.
They're very colourful.
The entire game is just really colourful. It's like they thought, okay, well, we've got a sort of new generation console now with a 3DS. Let's test its capabilities.
Let's test its limitations.
Let's put all the colours in.
So now it's got more Balloon Ra. So it's going to stick another Balloon Ra on. More Balloon Ra.
And we do have a Curaga, which have we seen so far?
I haven't needed to use it.
Yeah,
I put it on in the grid because I used to do that bit cureless, but then I spent too many runs dying to the guns because they sometimes won't give they won't give it to you, and they'll just keep shooting you, and you can't do anything about it.
But we will have Curaga, and later on we'll have Curaga and Cura as well. So we can use those intermittently when our health goes down lower than we wanted to.
Balloons and healing. You heal when you don't use balloons, so you can use more balloons.
You could say you're using helium balloons.
I've had to deal with this like 3 days already, and it's.
I keep saying I should have left him in the UK, just in
should've
the
left
airport.
Yeah, I should have stayed.
Because this is like the most British couch in the universe.
I nearly forgot my passport. I was drinking my tea. I got distracted.
I don't deny that. Last ESA, he brought like a bag full of tea stuff just so he wouldn't be without it for the week.
Come on, the people didn't need to know
Oh
this.
god, I'm going the wrong way. This is actually a hard room to do optimally because you want to do this, but there are walls everywhere that you can flow motion off of. So, and they're in very close spaces. Okay, that's fine. So this next boss is Char Clawster, something he's called. His name has just escaped me for no reason.
Char Clawster.
Char Clawster or something he's called.
Okay.
So I'm just going to run up to him and balloon him in the face. What I'm looking for is a reality shift to appear. In this game, they made the reality shift basically too easy. You just have to press X. On the 3DS, you had to do a little mini game where you sprayed him with water until he got stunned. In this, you just press X and he suddenly just falls over. Oh, you don't usually get to reality shifts. So, that was pretty good RNG. That was a really good fight for no overcast.
Have
I
we
should
explained what
probably
overcast
I
is
should
yet?
probably explain what overcast
Yeah,
is.
I don't think
go
we've
for
said
it.
So every time you drop in this game, every world's kind of like a weather forecast shifts. And there's one in particular that you want called Overcast because it increases your magic damage by about 1.5. And it honestly speeds up a lot of the worlds by probably a good 30 to 40 seconds on average. Some worlds, because they're so long, it saves minutes. So,
And it's probably the most important for the final world of the game, the world that never was.
yes, it is. So I'm dropping to Sora now because we have to complete his first ring before we can his first ring of worlds before we can continue. Otherwise, otherwise we'll beat Travis Town 2 as Riku, and then it'll go. Well, you need to drop to Sora to beat his bit because the game likes them to basically be at the same bit of the game.
Yeah, so this game has a system where you can swap to either character at any time via dropping, but then there are also certain points where the game will go, no, you need to play as the other one, and will forcibly drop you to the other character.
Yes.
And that will generally occur at points where the story can't progress if you do otherwise.
Yeah.
And
So
when you drop, you can attach certain bonuses to the other character depending on how well you performed with the first character, and basically you want magic boosts from that if you get them, but they don't always appear the same way.
basically, what enemies drop in this game is actually kind of random. Sometimes they'll give you DP, which you can use to spend on, well, they're called droplets. You can use it to spend them on like magic gains or drop decelerators, which give you different effects, which are very, very useful. So,
Yeah, you bought one drop decelerator on the...
yes, I
on
brought
the
a drop decelerator because it was there.
It was there.
Because I could.
It slows down the drop gauge so you don't drop out automatically, but like really, you don't need it. You have plenty of time to complete Sora's Ring of Worlds.
Yeah, it's like there because in
But
this
it was there.
world, if you spend too much time in the caves bit of this world, you might have a chance of dropping in the boss rush fight at the end of Sora's bit, but you don't usually. I just grab it because it's like 2 inputs and you have it. So
Yeah. It's also funny because, like I said, sometimes the game will forcibly drop you to the other character. So when you reach situations like this, where the game, you run out of drop gauge, the game forces
this is
drops you to
Comet.
the
I'll
other
show you the
character.
animation.
Oh, there's Comet. He's posing on him. He's posing on him.
You can skip that animation, but I just thought I just thought
Yeah, no, I wanted to see that.
I just thought you needed to enjoy.
Got a million level ups out of that as well.
Yes, you do. EXP in this game, when you actually get it, is really, really high. Because instead of giving you a lot of force fights, they expected you to go around killing a bunch of enemies for EXP. And so they made EXP yields really, really high in this game. Which makes getting to the required levels really, really easy. Oh, and by the way, I'm now using Super Glider Sora because it's slightly faster than slow motion in most situations. Slow motion would be slightly faster in some rooms, but Super Glide is just easier to control. Oh, nice cutscene skip. Cutscene skips in this game are weird. You can't do what you do in most of the KH games, which is basically kind of mash start, down, and X. You have to do start, pause, then down and X at basically the same time. So the first force fight in Sora's bit is with a bunch of wheel flowers, and you've got there are 3 giant ones where they're kind of like the boss ones, and you need to dispatch of them. I hit it twice, so it stuns it. Wow, that one kind of got away from me. It's fine. There you go. So there's 3 of them that spawn. This fight is actually kind of dangerous because they can poison you, and being as low a level as you are, because you don't kill anything unneeded in this run. This fight's very common to die to, especially since nearly every runner does this fight without any cures. And a couple of the runners do basically the whole game without cures until the final world.
Yeah, see, there's the poison.
And this
That
one,
wore off.
yeah, it does wear off pretty quickly. So that was pretty fast. And then Sora kind of has to go over the same bridge that Riku went over, but he doesn't travel back to the Notre Dame until the end of the world, and you don't have to do that yourself. It automatically transfers you there. Yeah, his bridge is a little bit faster because Super Glide is faster. I was hitting the top of different boxes and things there to maintain height so I could get over certain so I could get as far as possible without having to drop down and restart a super glide, because that's slightly slower than doing that. Yeah. Imagine flow motioning through this bit. That's why a lot of people who run New Game Plus don't tend to consider New Game, because you lose Sora's super glide. And a lot of us are used to just doing this everywhere. So that purple stuff at the bottom of the floor, what the game intends you to do is go and destroy the pots, but you don't need to. All you need to do is find the door, which is... Thanks, Sora. Which is over here. And what the goo does is it basically ups your drop gauge, so it depletes faster.
So it'll drop you out to Riku, at which point the game will go, no, you still need to complete Sora, and then we'll forcibly drop you back to Sora anyway.
Yeah. Well, you have to drop yourself, but the
Still,
game...
You can't progress.
You can't progress
have to just drop back immediately.
Yeah.
The drop system's interesting in like concept, but in execution it results in just sort of you hit a wall of progress, you drop to one character, and then oh, you accidentally drop back at some point, and the game just goes, go back.
This game's kind of a mesh of good ideas that are just executed really badly, to be honest.
Harsh, but not untrue.
So this is the Sora's fight with Wargoyle, and you're on the ground, so it's a bit easier. So actually, I got hit out of that balloon by his tail swipe. I have to wait for one to recharge. That's fine. And there I got hit out of it as well.
The animation cancel. That's actually good. Mildly counterintuitive, but still.
Thank you for that. Yeah. Wargoyle doesn't tend to stagger too often. He should be dead. Yeah.
You may have noticed that during that fight, he didn't have Curaga down in the bottom left in his command menu, and I'm assuming that's because Riku and Sora have different ones.
They have different command menus, yeah. And I just didn't put it in.
Right.
I don't put it in for that world. I put it in the next world.
Because again, this is more of the easiest world that Sora has available right now.
Well, the
so Curaga isn't necessary at the moment.
It's not necessary, no, but you can very easily die because it's just such low level for the whole game. And well, the order of we actually do Sora's worlds in a different order because in Sora's grid there's a boss fight and a boss fight alone. So we go to Prankster's Paradise first to get to level 7, and then we go and fight the boss in the grid. And it's actually one of the only changes that I made in this game, because one day I was looking at my splits and I was thinking, why do we go to the grid when there are no fights there and fight a boss that could be faster at a higher level? And everyone was like, that's a good point. So we changed it. And by the way, this is no memes the best dive in the game, where you get to take revenge on balloons.
You ruined this game's balance. Why do you do this? It's very therapeutic.
Oh, and shout outs to Sora's voice acting during this bit, where he continuously shouts faster, faster, and yeah.
Yeah! Faster, faster, yeah!
Do you think the game was giving you speedrun tips during this drop? Because it keeps saying faster and showing you balloons. It's telling you to use the balloon command.
It's a subliminal message.
Yeah.
They knew.
They were aware of the power of balloon wrap. Now I can just stay in the middle and mash X to the end.
And as you saw, the timer stopped after he collected the amount of balloons, not when he reached the final goal time there.
Yeah, that's one of the downsides of the PS4 version. It just stops the timer and the score thing when you have the required goal, but that isn't the required goal for the A rank. So you just need to know what you need to collect. So I'm going to change my Keyblade here, but I'm not going to edit my deck, because whenever you edit your deck, your commands have to recharge. So I'm going to change the Keyblade for a higher magic stat one. And then after I've done the next force fight, I will then put on the other Balloonera and a Curaga. Oh, thanks. So this fight's notorious among most DD runners because there's a move that these Jester Bockies can do that freezes you in place. And you can't move again until you A, get hit, or the timer on the freeze runs out, which is an incredibly long amount of time. It's really annoying.
Yeah, I know that when you enter this world, the combat level was 18.
Yes, you're meant to be level 18.
And you are at level 5. You just hit level 5.
Well, the combat level says 18, but the battle levels in this game make no sense at all. Because I'm like, how would you be level 18 by...
How would you be level 8? Unless you grind?
Unless you
First hour of the
spend
game?
every moment of your life killing every enemy, doing genocide %. So now I'm going to edit my deck because there's just movement to the next fight. So by the time I get to the next fight, the commands are charged. And there's a cutscene I need to go and activate, which is just up here. And then I can go to the next bit. Drop off into Super Glide. No need to jump. So Riku gets so what I like about Prankster's Paradise in this game is Riku gets kind of like the nostalgia one, but Sora gets kind of a different look at it. So Sora gets to go to the island, like the more island part of it with the amusement park on it, while and see a lot more of this world, because the world's actually quite the maps are actually kind of big in this game on the bigger worlds. It's one of the main pluses of this game, but the issue is flow motion is like so. Wow, the combo.
That was a setup.
The worlds are kind of, the maps are big, but flow motion is kind of makes them all feel very, very small. So it kind of makes a lot of stuff feel a bit pointless.
Right, and Super Glide is actually really, really well done in this game, to where it flows super well. Whenever you touch the ground, you don't stop and land, which it was like in KH2. So they really, really focused on the fluidity of movement with Super Glide and flow motion in this game, which makes for fast speedrun.
And Balloon helps immensely. And that's the last panda.
I need another one.
Right. I didn't hit level 7. You usually don't, because during the Wheelflower fight, sometimes your Dream Eaters will kill a couple of the little ones that are around and give you a little bit of extra EXP. But it doesn't matter. We kill. There's a panda that spawns that we just kill with a ballooner. Going up this path. Oh, and then I instantaneously target the little Jester Bocky.
There it is. There's level 7.
So yeah, as powerful as Balloon is, you saw there that if you target a different enemy, or if you hit it against a wall, then it may not do as much damage as
it doesn't do nearly as much.
Does.
So now that I'm level 7, my magic does a bit more damage overall, which is helpful in the next boss fight as well. Because if you don't hit level 7, the next boss fight's quite a bit slower. Because as Punchy mentioned earlier, the damage scaling in this game is really, really harsh.
Really harsh.
Right, so I'm going to flow motion around here. There's actually an unskippable cutscene that plays if you get too close to the ground on this bit. So I'm going to try and avoid it. I avoided it in that one. There's another one that can play in the bit after this as well. I love how high you jump underwater. So there's another one that can play here. The one here is like a good 10 seconds long. But this one's way easier to avoid because you can super glide. There's a door. So this is Sora's version of the giant lobster called Chill Lobster.
Chill lobster.
Chill Lobster.
A chill run.
So usually he pushes you off. If you glide up there, you stay up on the platform here, and you can pop balloons on him. So they get to him a little bit quicker. I'm gonna heal my Dream Eaters because they can actually die, and when they get knocked out, they enter a 30-second timer, and if that timer reaches 0, they disappear permanently.
So what do the Dream Eaters actually add to these battles right now?
Right now, they're literally useless.
Okay.
All they do is add Comet to certain force fights.
Oh, but if they die, they lose, like, like a little bit of friendship with you, I guess.
No, they disappear permanently.
Oh wow.
And
Okay.
you lose the abilities that were associated with them.
Oh wow.
So you really need to make sure that that doesn't happen. So once you get to about this bit of the fight, the boss basically decides when he wants to enter the next phase. There you go.
This run is blessed by the chill lobster.
So you see this massive thing in the middle? This is actually Monstro frozen in ice. And now we're going to ride him in a big bubble. and
Why not?
go and finish the boss fight. There was actually, on the 3DS version, there was a glitch in that cutscene where sometimes it would just show you a wonderful portrait of the frozen Monstro, then it would cut to this, just cut to this bit when the cutscene was meant to be over. So now I'm going to just move around.
Space whale!
Yeah, so I bait him to shoot in directions that I want him to, because if the lasers hit you, it pushes you back. And this bit's actually on a time limit. So if you don't finish this fast enough, it pushes you back into the fight and the boss regains some health. And then you have to do then you have to wait for him to end the fight again, and it's just slow. So when the finish command lights up is when this boss fight ends. There you go. That one usually hits you. There you go. So we usually get hit by one of them, but you're right in front of him, so it doesn't matter. And you burst the bubble in his face.
I was gonna say you get very close to him with a bubble, and then apparently the crab doesn't like water and just dies immediately.
Yes.
Bubble, when you think about it, basically a water balloon. You know? Balloon. It's always balloon. It all comes back to balloon. Something to think about.
Oh, I hope Kingdom Hearts 3 has Balloon Rush.
I
just
don't.
use it throughout the entire game.
I don't. That's whack.
Final boss dies in
I actually
3
like
hits.
balance.
I think the game director was trying to say something when the balloons were designed and implemented.
I'm not sure he was.
I'm not sure.
I don't know, maybe.
What was he trying to say?
Maybe he's got some sort of secret balloon addiction that he was trying to...
That's true. Yeah.
Maybe he spends like... This is Japanese games, maybe he was spending billions of yen on balloons.
On balloons.
And he was a cry for help.
Somebody was just really depressed one day, and they were like, "I need balloons."
Balloons.
Noted one of the few instances of using the brake
Yes.
to slow down.
You will only use the brake function in the boss fights with Brawler Mario. Thanks, Brawler. Which is this squid thing. Sora's one's fairly easy. If you don't get 2-cycle on this boss, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
Don't miss it now, otherwise I'm going to make fun of you.
Didn't you miss this on the run I watched a few days ago?
That was Brawler Mario 2, where the 2-cycle is 100% random.
Oh, okay.
Excuses, excuses.
So basically, if you get hit by that move there, he doesn't stay stunned in front of you, and then you can't get this. And then if you don't finish this fight in the 2 cycles, you don't get an A rank. You just flat, it doesn't give it to you. This fight was designed to be finished in 2 cycles. It always gives you A rank and then just enough points to get it.
What do you get for the A rank for that one?
Easy A rank.
Do you get anything for it?
No. Because I got the reward from Riku's one.
Right, yeah.
Those rewards are shared, but for
The
some reason
overall one is
Dive Wing
different.
isn't.
Yeah.
Dive Wing is not shared. This world has got the best music in the game, honestly.
It's really good.
Like, I forgot to mention it, but the music for Light Cycle is the best part of Oh, thanks, Sora. I was slightly
There's that
too-
flow motion triggering, just sort of touching the rail. I was like, nope, snap it onto that now. It's become Tony Hawk.
Yep. This is one of the instances where I use flow motion as Sora because it's faster than landing and super gliding. Oh, that's where you get counter rush.
Do we use counter
No. No. You do not guard anything, Sora, really.
Never block it. No, of course not. Blocking takes time away from casting balloon. How could I be so foolish?
So, Riku kind of just got teleported to the end of the transport bit with the Solar Sailor, but Sora actually has to like travel on it, which is useful because there is one chest that we need to pick up. Oh, and it sounds like it says yeehaw there as well. So
Thankfully not a premature yeehaw.
there is one very important chest in this world, and it's in this little bit here. It is a lovely little Balloonra chest.
Balloonra just lying around. More Balloonras.
So what does Balloonra do?
Wow, I'm
I don't think
glad
it's done
you
it
asked.
yet.
Everything about the only thing we go out of our way to find is more Balloonra.
More balloons.
We now have all 6 of our Balloonras. We no longer collect any more balloons. We do not need more.
Have a way to bind custom buttons so you can have more options to do Balloonra.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the amount of magic hastes that we put on from the start of the game that we got in the bubble
We have all
minigames.
5.
We have all 5 available to us. So the commands in the bottom left are refreshing very quickly.
Literally everything about the way you build is geared to use Balloonra as often as you physically can and never ever stop using, because by the time you've used the final Balloonra, the first one's recharged and you can just loop that.
And for anyone wondering why it's Balloonra and not the final upgrade of Balloonga,
Balloonra
is actually better
Yeah,
for some reason.
Oh yeah, I forget that Balloongar exists because it's just not good.
No.
Yeah.
I think
So-
what the individual balloons are bigger, but they just do less damage for some reason.
Ain't using that reality shift.
No, there's no
Not
need to.
worth.
I love the,
Got balloons.
what this boss Rinzler can do is he can stand in front of you and hit you out of basically every single Balloonra cast, and the fight is over in like 3 seconds. Because they all just burst in his face.
You're meant to say that was a perfect fight. It couldn't have gone any better.
That was a good fight, but
A perfect fight. Thank you for humoring me.
We could have easily just let you lift that one down, but
oh, there's one very important thing about the next bit. So you saw when I went back into the world, back into Notre Dame, it showed the different save points. But when you visit Traverse Town again, it goes, would you like to dive or visit world? You must always remember to go down to visit world. I'm gonna put on dual disc, and then I'm gonna check. No, I don't have it. So I check there to see if I have an overcast on Sora's next one. If it's not there I don't drop for it. If it's there, I'll drop for it, because overcast in this world saves on average about 40 seconds in the boss rush itself, which is very, very useful having overcast there. But it's also more dangerous because all their attacks do more damage to you. That was very, very nice of... I need to do that because if they die, then lose everything. So I just need to kill the 3 seahorse things, and then the next wave of enemies will spawn. And then I can comet. And it whiffed the giraffe. Fine.
Whiffing the giraffe sounds like a dumb move. Oh, nice juggle.
Yeah, man. We put on the Keyblade I did there because that's a higher strength stat. If you don't put that Keyblade on, then Comet does no damage at all in that fight. It doesn't kill anything. It does like the tiniest amount of HP. Because for some reason that moves based on your strength, but most other things are based on your magic stat. And then shove Guardian Bell back on. So we used to just go through the post office here, but I'm going to save warp. Not drop, save
What
warp.
drop?
Save warp.
Drop warp.
Drop warp. No. Saves a tiny... Well, I'm not sure how much time it saves because someone just told me to do it one day and I was like, oh, okay. I didn't ask how much time it saves. I was just like, oh, okay.
Hey, you don't know these things, man. Come on.
And so Sora gets to refight most of the bosses that we've already fought with the lovely stipulation of being in the tiniest room you've ever seen in your life. Oh, yeehaw again, dude. So this boss and the boss at the end is fine. It's the second boss which comes out, which is Wargoyle. And you saw what he was doing to me in the big area. Imagine him in the small area. So This boss, so this is a boss you fight later called Spelican. He just comes in and summons these bosses just for you to fight again. So I'm going to time a balloon right here. Yes, I got it. And you can stun him. And hopefully he'll...
Yeah, because otherwise whether or not your attacks actually stun bosses out of their attacks or not is...
staggering
doesn't really happen in this game. Sometimes?
Yeah,
maybe?
staggering in this game is hard. And that was very good. Now, I usually heal after every one of these just to make sure that my Dream Eaters are fine.
Honestly, that's one of the many, many reasons Balloon Raw is very, very good, because enemies don't stagger, so then they hit you like out of Balloon Raw, but they actually improve Balloon Raw by hitting you out of the end of it. Like that.
Okay, shout outs to KHFan, who has this fight in his splits called Tiny Rick, and this is Tiny Rick. Don't ask me, I can't remember why he's called Tiny Rick, but he's Tiny Rick.
Swear to God, if that's supposed to be about Rick and Morty, I will agree.
We don't know. Bye, Tiny Rick. He's dead now. Oh no, he's not dead. No, he's living. He's living on that sliver of life. He's got the magic pixel.
The sliver of health.
All right, bye, Magic Rick. Magic Rick? He's
Tiny
Magic
Rick.
Rick now.
He's Magic Rick.
Magic Rick.
Magic Rick. So that was actually fairly good for no overcast, because Wargoyle was fairly nice. He either goes completely ham or he's very passive. That was actually kind of passive for Wargoyle. And it helps that I got the stun on him as well. I don't always get that stun.
Thanks to you saying Magic Rick, I'm now imagining Magic Mike, but as a lobster. So thank you very much for that. That was a deleted scene
There's
from
the
Little
magic
Mermaid.
game.
So I grabbed a drop decelerator and a magic game for
More
Riku.
damage.
Yes. And now, this is one. Riku gets less force fights than Sora, but in his force fights, he gets way more EXP. And the next force fight, we go from probably like level. I think we're like level 4 now, to like level 9, basically. But nearly level 10, in fact. And it's pretty good.
So Riku, like, we are like halfway-ish through the game. Level 4.
Yeah.
Level 4.
This game is kind of bad with how it does EXP. Well, it also helps that we don't really fight much.
Don't gotta fight now.
Oh, also, one thing that this game is very good at doing, it's very good at healing Sora and Riku, but it's not very good at healing your Dream Eaters. They've still got the same amount of health as when I was in the boss rush.
And so he walked through the save point there to heal the Dream Eaters.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'll explain that in a minute, but I just want to show you the majesty that is this fight.
So yes, Triceratops give a lot of XP. We're now level
So
6.
Damn.
Level 7.
Level 7. Oh, thanks.
Oh, the stun.
It's fine. I didn't mean to kill there.
Safety. Safety.
Safety cure. It's fine.
And level 8.
After killing 2 more enemies.
11 on your Dream Eaters.
There's level 9.
Was that 10? That wasn't quite 10.
No. You get 10. You get 10 in the next world. He has another fight where he gains about 5 levels in one fight.
Level scaling.
Yeah, man.
You
Abused
get,
greatly.
you get this far without leveling up at all, and then everything just punch you up to the required level. It's like, oh yeah, otherwise he won't do any damage.
Yeah, man. So I've just got to go to the same room that Sora fought the boss rush in, and then we can continue with the run. Okay. Oh, I might not have mentioned this before, but whenever I try to fall down from heights, I try to fall down while I'm in flow motion, because your falling speed in flow motion is faster than your regular falling speed. I don't know why it's like that, but it just is.
Yeah, you drop like a rock out of flow motion.
Yeah. Yeah, but your regular falling speed is really slow in this game. Look, it likes to do a nice cinematic view of the world. So, we're actually going to do Riku's next 2 worlds out of order. We're going to go to Symphony of Sorcery first, because he doesn't have any force fights there, and his boss fight isn't really a boss fight. So he
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
need.
relatively canned. Although combat level, it says there 34.
34.
Current level 9.
Yes. So he has no force fights here, and the boss fight isn't really a boss fight. It's more of a mini game. So, and your strength doesn't matter in the boss fight. So please grab that. Thank you. Now laser spin everything. So I want to grab that. Thanks. So this one wants you to defeat 30 enemies. That isn't actually that's required to beat the dive, but it's not. That isn't what the game tracks to give you the A rank. The game still tracks score and time to give you an A rank. So you've still got to do good. And the reason why I wanted the Mega Flare is for this bit here. It doesn't really matter, to be honest, because you've got to go down that far anyway. Well, once you grab this, all these enemies spawn, and lovely. And one good thing about when there are enemies on screen, you actually go a little bit faster because you dash towards the enemy and then through them a little bit. So, oh, and we get a 0. No, we don't need that. We sell that actually. Now we are in Symphony of Sorcery, which is the world based on Fantasia. This this world used to get all the VODs muted back on 3DS.
So this is the world that we should be commentating the most because of the music.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, we'll just be ranking all the songs out of 10.
Oh,
here.
right, okay.
There will be a lot of mini games where you have to press a certain specific button. As we will see here, Rebel has to press X a few times.
It's a rhythm game.
And he actually ends up missing one of those because he doesn't actually have to hit every single button. So
It saves 0.4 seconds per
0.4
one.
seconds.
Per one to skip. It's very optimal to be bad at music.
You miss like one and it skips like one explosion animation or something, and that
Yes.
saves the time. Although there's a couple, the longer ones, I remember bugging you about this, because like, can you miss 2 and get away with it? Does it still work? And you were like, no, then I got you to try it, and you were like, actually, yeah, it does.
It depends on how many things there are there.
Yeah, on the longer ones, but it's still like, I wouldn't risk it.
I forgot how many there were there. It doesn't really matter if you do it or not. It's just a very, very good meme.
0.4 seconds lost. Shameful.
Shameful display.
Shameful. Can't be associated with a run like this.
I like how you meant to like unlock the little grind rail before you can go get that chest, but you can just flow motion up there and grab it earlier.
Yeah, flow motion has the effect of sort of messing with the environmental puzzles like that, because you can kind of just scale anything relatively infinitely.
yeah, up to this point we haven't had anything in our command menu apart from Balloonra and Curaga, but that 0 Gravizer that we just picked up will be used at some point throughout this run.
Whiff.
I press square to make sure I do not press it.
He presses square.
I pressed the wrong button deliberately to make sure I don't press it.
You press the circle with corners.
Yes. Yes.
There's an enemy like tracking you during the cutscene.
Yes, the Ryu dragons go ham on you during the cutscene. These things make a lovely sound when you go up them.
They drop money as well.
Yes, they do.
I never
This
noticed
is
that.
actually is fun fact. This is where you can grind money in this game. On money days, on the money forecast, you can go there and just run around in circles and get about 500 money in about a minute.
There's a specific weather forecast, which is money.
Yes, it gives you more money.
I wish we had that weather forecast in real life more often.
They do. It's called a fortune cookie.
Forecast. Oh no.
So the game shows you that little grind rail over there because you're meant to go take that. But you can just flow motion up this wall here and skip it completely.
You don't got to do anything like that. Just climb the wall. Just go around it, Lamau. Why even bother?
Bad.
I find it really funny how you whiff the last note to go like slightly faster.
Minimal time
Its
save.
peak speedrunning is to completely ruin the moment just to go slightly quicker.
The song was going so well, and you missed the final note.
I mean,
Was
it
that really
doesn't-
worth 0.4
I mean,
seconds?
it doesn't actually change
Yes.
the song that's being played. It's
No,
not like
but it
Guitar
makes
Hero.
it kind of it dampens the mood.
To
It's a
heal-
static rebel.
Oh, yeah, so this is the reason why we can come and do Symphony of Sorcery now with Riku. It's
Yeah.
because his boss fight isn't actually a boss fight.
It's a dive.
It is a dive. It's
So the combat level is sort of meaningless because you don't really need to fight anything, and the one thing you do need to fight doesn't really count as a fight.
and you're about to see one of the only points in the game where every category does exactly the same damage, and that's 1 bar of damage per hit. Level 1 does this damage on this fight. This fight always takes 3 phases, and he throws more and more stuff at you with every phase. What he throws at you now is phantoms. If you've ever played KH1, there was a secret boss known as Phantom. He throws them at you, and they just slow you down and drain your HP. And then he throws like these in random directions, but they tend to home in on you. But if you circle around, they won't hit you at all. And I'm fine. There you go. So, final one, he throws white phantoms at you, which are a lot faster, and they drain your HP a lot faster. So usually with the first set of them, I just tend to avoid them. But with these guys, because of the situations he puts you in, I do that to make sure that I can avoid them. It's slightly slower than just straight dodging them in that bit, but it's worth it to not be slowed down by them. Also, shout outs to the music in this fight.
Hell yeah.
7 out of 10?
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10?
8 out of 10.
Okay.
Oh, he's giving me the path to victory.
Straight down the middle.
There you go. And another reason why we do that fight now is because the Keyblade you get from this world has a very, very high magic stat, and it speeds up the world after this one. Very, very much so. It's way faster than using Guardian Belt, which is the Keyblade that we have on. Yep, so.
Where are we dropping now?
We are diving to Country of the Musketeers.
Not
You had to
humouring it
make
at
that
all.
distinction, didn't you?
Yes, because dropping and diving are completely different things.
And now, comic book pages.
Yes. If you've ever seen the film of this, the beginning bit, where the turtle's reading the comic strip on the TV show, it's kind of what this world's based off of. It's based off of that film, and a lot of the aesthetics are kind of comic book style to pay homage to that.
I was straight up not aware that this was even based on a movie.
And this is, again, the second
Have
Brawler
you never
Mari
seen the
fight.
Three Musketeers?
I have not, no.
And the second Brawler Mari fight is where the 2-cycle is considerably more difficult and
It's
random.
It's
So-
random. It saves 40 seconds if you get it, but it's completely random if you do get it.
You're gonna get it.
I'm
saying
not
it.
going to get it.
You're gonna get it.
And this is not the 2-cycle we're talking about, that bit there.
I got excited for a moment.
He turns around and shows he's double-sided for some reason.
Oh, great.
And there are 3 little orbs in that kind of mouth at the front that you've got to destroy. So what he'll do is he'll open the mouth to do like a laser attack. Well, it's more like a field attack. But the game very kindly spawns some rocks for you to hide behind. So it doesn't matter which one of these I go to first. I usually go to top left. I don't know why, but top left is usually where I go. And
You're in it, man.
And although it is vaguely possible to control where you're hitting, a lot of the time it will just kind of randomly send you to one of the other
yes,
orbs.
Yeah.
I actually controlled myself doing that at that time. I managed to move myself in the optimal directions.
So you went from the top left down and then right, and this time you go from the top right, I'm guessing?
No,
and then
no, no.
down?
Dush, dush, dush.
Okay. So you killed the first crystal on the top left.
Yes. And what should happen is you kill the next 2 fairly quickly. Where the hell are the rocks? There we go. Good spawn RNG.
With rock RNG.
And
Come on, man.
No!
the game.
No!
No.
It was so close.
I
I won.
was 1 hit short.
Now I'm a liar.
And
But-
you'll see why this saves, why it saves 40 seconds. It's because he goes through like
The whole of the path.
3 different attacks, and he does this attack, which is extremely long, but it's so easy to dodge. You stand in the middle and do this. Right. So the third field attack, the rocks don't stay still; they move. So you've got to kind of move with them. And if you get hit by this attack at all, you can't actually attack any of that, and you automatically lose the A rank. And if you do that on the final one, well,
That's a lot of time lost.
That's a lot
That's
of time
about
lost.
3 minutes lost.
well, that's if like you want to repeat the dive, because you could repeat the dive and do exactly the same thing. So I'm going to do another quick menu here where I put on counterpoint, which is the keyblade we just got. There we go.
Which again, just gives you a little bit extra magic.
Yes, it does. And I put on Zero Gravizer, which is like this, game's version of Magnet. It doesn't really have a Magnet command. It just is the Magnet command. So I put it on Sora as well, and I get rid of his Kiraga and put on the Elixir we picked up earlier. Because Elixirs in this game don't just restore HP, they also restore the link gauge with the Dream Eaters. And we use Comet a lot in one of Sora's next worlds. And I pick up a couple of Dream Candies along the way to do the same thing because they restore half of it. And I kill this lion here for EXP. Just to make sure I hit level 14 by the end of the world.
I love how you killed a lion, and then your your Dream Eaters that were called Raw number 1, Raw number 2, all leveled up from the lion kill.
Yeah, they do. So I'm just selling a bunch of commands here to make sure I have enough to buy a Cura.
So these are all like crafting materials that you would use when messing with the whole Pokemon stuff in this
Yes.
game.
Yeah.
And we don't need any of it in New Game Plus because we sorted that all out ahead of time. So
And
you
the
can get rid of it for money.
And the idea is that he was selling the ones that make him the most money throughout there first.
Yes. And then after that, I just sell a bunch of stuff. I was like a tiny amount of money short. If you catch this world on a sale day, stuff sells for more money. So you have to sell less.
Like
Sale
completely
day.
random.
And that is also completely random.
Wow. Sale day forecast.
Yes. You can buy rarer commands on sale days. That's kind of the difference between them. Also, I love the music in this world as well.
What do you think of the music in this world?
I like it.
Excellent.
Yeah,
The
that's
best
really
review we're
good.
gonna get. I
Me
like
like
it.
he that
I like
music. Me like he dem tunes. So this is the other fight that I was talking about earlier, where Riku gains a ton of EXP in one fight. So, and again, this is like Sora's bit in Notre Dame, where like you're meant to go and destroy the like beakers, which are spewing out this fluid, but you really don't need to do it. It's just a waste of time. Voila!
So Rebel, you've just used something that isn't balloon. Care
Yes.
to explain?
Basically, that's this game's version of Magnet. That Zero Gravizer. You use it because it affects the Beagle Boys and stops them from moving around. And it's easier to hit enemies in it than, especially in small areas like that. It's easier to hit enemies with it than trying to just balloon in very, very confined spaces. Also, this is flow
Yeah,
motion.
these are some awkward hallways for flow motion. See, flow motion, very good for wide open areas. Very not good for these small tunnel type things.
So my Dream Eaters now actually have the ability to give me what
Spirit seems to be onto something.
can actually give the ability called Spirit Roll now.
Yeah, and every time they give you Spirit Roar, it which you just received,
Oh,
you
I
see in
just
the
got-
bottom right, it doubles the damage of all of his balloons.
Oh, that's what can happen if you dodge into an enemy. You activate flow motion in the same way.
So again, flow motion, great when you're not in a fight, but not so great when you're inside a fight.
Yeah, sometimes it's an active liability in combat rather than just sort of merely annoying.
And you'll notice that you went up 5 levels in that one fight
14.
there.
Yes. And now the game chucks you straight into the next fight, which is Holy Moly. Where this guy spawns is completely random. He spawn. Oh, he's on there. So this fight was a lot easier on the 3DS version because the mini-map was on the bottom screen. On this, you kind of just have to go, I saw a area here. Yes.
Big
Spirit Roar
damage.
make it so that you can do this fight in less cycles?
Uh,
Any chance?
Might be able to get it in one.
Wow.
Straight up one, boy.
Is that a yes?
Yeah.
I think that's
Boy,
a yes.
yeah.
The last time I saw that fight, there was a cycle where there were a bunch of arms that just popped out of the floor and started going around, and you
Yeah.
just had to sit on top of a ledge for like 30 seconds and wait for it to finish.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
that was
be
done
a huge
incredibly
pain.
quickly, thanks to the Spirit Roar.
Just hope. I might lose a little bit of time later on because I'm going to be short a comet because I didn't get the dream candy that was in that room, which you grabbed during that phase, but it should be fine.
Went so fast, didn't pick up the
Oh, I
items.
got overcast, so
Hey!
it doesn't matter at all.
Doesn't matter at all.
It doesn't matter at all.
What a good run. Is this world record pace?
No,
But it is.
I was
we
4
say
minutes
it
behind
is.
world record in the grid.
You're
Okay.
supposed to lie. They don't
Hype.
know any better.
I will not lie.
World record is at 2
I will.
hours
It's
and
world record
15
pace.
minutes.
Don't know why I'm looking up when I say that, but like... you, the audience, up there. It's world record pace.
I got overcast. This is actually the one world where it saves the most amount of time. This is the world I was talking. This was the world I mentioned earlier when I explained overcast and said it saves multiple minutes. This is that world. Overcast legitimately can save minutes here. I usually bonk on this book, so. Oh no. I bonked. I used that slightly earlier than intended. I was supposed to wait for the thing at the bottom to spawn, but I went for it. Faster.
Yeah, faster. Yeah.
That's what my mind does every time I play this game. Faster, faster, yeah. Yeah. So this drops you straight into another force fight, and the reason why I put on the knockout punch keyblade I did is because it's magic. Its strength stats higher, so I could use that, and it basically clears the room apart from like the final few enemies. And now I can. Oh, lovely! A spirit roll.
Spirit roll.
And now I can just blindly balloon her up. There we go.
Fast.
So that was a really good fight. As you see, Comet basically nukes the screen many times over. Oh, the reason why I dodge rolled there and not super glide is because if you go past him, Mickey jumps to talk to you. He doesn't just talk to you, he jumps so he can face you. He has to look at you when he says, "Would you like to go save the princess?"
This is a really interesting fight. You stand there and cast balloon at this thing, and it doesn't even get a chance to really hit you.
Yeah.
Especially because you've got overcast.
And you don't have your Dream Eaters here, so you can't get Spirit Roar, but you still kill it really, really quickly.
He was actually standing at the right position. On this one bit alone, you want your ballooners to split up and go hit him, because on this one fight they do slightly more damage than when they when they burst right on him. I don't know why. It just we noticed a slight time difference when we were doing that. So now I'm going to do a quick menu here, where I change out this elixir for the Dream Candy. And there's another Dream Candy chest that I'm picking up here. Well, I say up here, it's down there. And then I spawn a few enemies up here. And then just Comet. It doesn't usually, yep. The Chef Kairus, that they're called, usually survive.
I think the main enemy there to kill was the elephant that gave you the most XP.
Yes, the elephant gives you the most of all the EXP.
It seems to be the larger the enemy is, the more XP it gives, like the elephants and the triceratops.
I mean, dinosaurs in this game just give you a real good amount of EXP.
Right.
Barrels, oh no.
Oh no.
Super glide up the stairs. Don't climb the stairs. Doesn't even matter.
Oh. And I try and end right by where the stairs are. So, my Dream Eater's been kind of kind to me, so, and you get, so what happens when you try and cast Balloon and things are stood right in front of you?
I love how you said the Dream Eaters were really kind to you, and they didn't give you Spirit Roar.
You don't need it when you have Overcast, but
Oh, okay.
Overcast does so much damage that you don't always need it.
Right.
They do stack with each other though.
Yeah, they do stack on top of
Get
each
Spirit
other.
Roar and Overcast, and like, oh dear, everything dies.
Yeah, they stack.
Yeah.
You need to go to the shore. Go to that shoreline.
And some more ridiculously good music.
So I need to get more EXP here. So what we used to do to get EXP in this game is we used to do what's called what were called battle portals, and then we switched it around for just killing enemies here because they give more XP. And in battle portals, when you end the battle portal, it plays the end battle animation. Not only that, it plays the start one as well when you start them. So just because of those two things, they're slightly slower than just killing a few extra waves of enemies in this world.
And again, we just picked up a Dream Candy, which when we went through that transition there, made the Dream Candies on our commands in the bottom left go from ×2 to ×3. So we can now use 3 of them to refill the gauge to use Comet.
The reason why I was worried about like not being able to pick up the Dream Candy is because usually you have 4, which allows you to do another 2 comets in this world, and I've only got 3. But Sudaneku was really, really aggressive with the enemies out front. Oh, and this fight used to be like 2.5 minutes long.
No, it's not. It's less than 2.5 seconds long.
So,
Obliterated.
yep. It one-shots all the elephants.
It's the circle of life. You're just standing around, and then a rock drops on their head, and that's it.
Yet somehow all the dinosaurs are still alive.
I'll show them the extinction. We got Comet.
By balloons.
And I put slow on there for the boss fight of this world because it helps very much so with the fight.
Another non-balloon command. Scandalous.
Yeah, I know, right?
To make this fight fast, we put
Can't be
slow.
having Can't be having non-balloon commands.
I use 2 in the boss after this, though. Still cureless. We do not use cure.
No cure.
No cure.
That's the good stuff.
No fear. Then we go to the opera. And we kill the T-Rex outside here. And then we use Comet. And it kills all the enemies that spawn. Apart from that one there, that's fine. Now I might only need to kill the T-Rex in the middle up here.
Just to get the next level up, I'm guessing. Level 13, where we get another magic increase. And a strength increase, which might be
It is
necessary?
not needed at all.
No? Okay.
Not
Just
needed
magic.
at all, yes. So here we fight the Beagle Boys again, and then it's followed up in the same fight with Pete.
There he is.
So this bit's kind of the same as what I did before, but it's a bit easier because there's nowhere for balloons to pop, like the ceiling. So in this minigame, I'm looking for the arrows that are different with the gold barrier, with the gold border around them, and you have to push the 2 sticks in the direction that it specifies.
And you have one of those pop up after killing each of these Beagle Boys.
Yes. And then Pete decides, you know what? I'm going to jump down and fight you myself.
Finally.
Huh. That was a good spawn. I was doing the motion. It was like, no.
Too fast.
Too speedy for me. And Pete's the reason why we put the slow command on. The slow command does actually affect the Beagle Boys, but we put it on for Pete because it is way more useful on him. He has a DM that he can do, which wastes about 30 seconds if he decides to do it, and he'll just fly into it and do it.
To be honest, I think slow is just used because it looks funny. I think that's the only reason why I use it. And DMless.
Overcast really helps there. I didn't get any Spirit Rolls, but it didn't really matter.
Right. If you didn't get Overcast and you also didn't get the Spirit Rolls, he might
He
have
would
ended
have
up DMing or
DM'd
something.
definitely in that fight.
And how much time would that lose?
I probably would have died because
You would've died?
you saw
Okay.
what level my HP was
He was
at.
getting bodied.
Right. And since you don't have Cure on right now as well.
Yeah.
But I suppose it's easier to do when you have Overcast.
Yes. I mean, I go Cureless without Overcast as well. Because you do not have the deck space. So
You
why
are
would I
that
waste
type of
it?
runner.
Yes.
Must save the frames.
They always go for it. If you don't get it, it wasn't good anyway.
Yeah.
And now we get to see basically the same world that we saw with Riku here in Symphony of Sorcery.
It's slightly different, but it's pretty much the
We
same.
still
one.
have all the mini games fun.
Yeah, but
It's got a real boss fight.
but in
sort of.
Riku's one is with like ice stuff, but Sora's one is with flowers.
So it's Frozen versus Tangled, basically.
If you say so.
Yeah, okay. We'll ignore I said that.
I'm surprised I didn't hit the edge of that flower ring then.
Well, you hit that one to make up for it.
Yeah, the karma got to me there.
Next time there's a close call, just don't mention it. No one will notice.
Back off.
Gather. Back off.
And then he screams faster while he's attacking them. Yeah! Oh, and something that baffled people a lot for a long time is what score things needed to collect. For the longest time, people were going through the ones that are going diagonal, but if you just like collect the 2 spiral ones and then go down the one that goes down, it gives you an A rank every time. So people overpointed here a lot. So I'm going to change Sora's Keyblade to the one we just got, which is all for 1. And then I'm going to change his deck up slightly where I put Zero Gravity on and Collision Magnet, and then the Balloonera. And then we get to go do his bit of Symphony of Sorcery, which is actually kind of in the clouds at the start, then it goes into like a forest.
Okay, so since you just changed your commands up a little bit, could you describe what Collision Magnet is?
It's a command that basically grabs an enemy and throws them and stuns them. The reason why we grab it is because well, this was actually this was when Faye was looking into Balloonless, and someone mentioned about using Collision Magnet.
Nice spirit roll.
Yeah, someone mentioned about using Collision Magnet, and because it was apparently very, very good on Spelican, and she used it, and she was like, oh, because it hits Spelican out of teleport, which no other command can do. It just grabs him out of teleport, where he's meant to be invincible. So that is why we grab it.
Every time you do those and you get to the last input and you don't press it, I always see you pressing something on the controller and I'm surprised when you get a bad. I always think you mistime it by accident.
No, I'm pressing a different button because I know what I'm like, and I will press it again. So we do this one here. It wasn't since I've seen that pattern. You see that there are different patterns that can happen. Some of them are longer than others. Slight RNG in the mini games as well. Oh, and those big black blobs that are everywhere with the lightning around them, they can kill you. They do a good 75% of your health if you touch them. I have died maybe once or twice to them by not paying attention because their hitbox is rather large.
You saw we went rather low there, considering this is a marathon, and you want it to be as safe as possible.
Their hitbox is deceptively massive.
Is it possible for the tree meters to touch them by any chance and die?
No, because they tend to spawn on the ground.
Okay.
And they just teleport around. Oh, the best part, I didn't mention it earlier, but the little fireworks that come out can actually hit enemies.
Yeah, it juggles that, like, giraffe dude.
It doesn't do any damage because my strength stat's too low because it's based on your strength stat, as most things which are supposed to be useful in this game are. And that's another thing that Dream users like to do. They like to give you spirit rolls when you're just walking around. Also, I like in this bit, you do these to stop it from raining, to clear the skies.
So
Rain
you
is
do not
evil.
want overcast here.
And when sunlight shines, you can go to the end.
Boo!
You enjoyed it.
No,
it was
I
a good
don't.
one.
I refuse.
Okay. We're just having a fight over who makes the worst jokes throughout this run.
I can't tell who's winning. I
It's
don't want to.
I think it's me. It's
Yeah,
definitely me.
definitely.
Oh, I've never wanted to leave you in the UK more than I have in the past few days, so.
I can leave.
Can you?
Is that a promise? Is that a promise? Or
We've only got
Promise or a threat?
We've only got 30 minutes left until you get world record, so I'll stay for now.
So Spelican starts with a weird kind of slow motion bit where you have to catch up to him and hit him. He will throw either these little purple orbs at you, or he'll throw a rock at you. The purple orbs are faster on PS4. They got faster due to 60 FPS, so they are more annoying to dodge. So the pattern you want is...
Not that?
Not that. You want kind of... Not this. You
Oh,
want
God.
rocks. Oh my... Spelican, please.
Oh my Spelican.
And... There you go. Look how little damage I did with that. No.
Because your strength stat. And we actually get to the fight.
Yep. So you stun him with this. You do a couple of bloom rows. Then as he goes to do anything, you just hit him with that. And he flies into walls and just gets stunned. And then as he gets back up, you just repeat the process.
And again, using the collision magnet to stop his teleports.
It's like the sole good use of that command.
Unfortunately, not getting too much help from the Dream Eaters here in terms of spirit rolls, so it hasn't been as fast a fight as it could have been, but...
Oh, there's one.
Right at the end,
Right
just
at
for
the
the
end.
last balloon.
Brilliant. Oh. Teleports.
It's fine. Oh, and again.
Hey, you got another spirit
Where
roll
is
out
he?
of it. You got 2 spirit rolls.
Oh, he's up there. I can't see.
Another spirit roll. How many?
Spirit rolls.
We could have done with these at the start of this fight, so
Yeah,
this didn't
the
happen.
Dream Eaters at this point are like, come on, man, get
Just finish him off already.
They were pity rolls at that point.
Pity
rolls.
I was trying to lock onto him, but he kept teleporting. Then he teleported up the top and I just couldn't hit him. So there's Saurus counterpoint, which hopefully we won't get to see. So the next dive is the only one where I get legitimately scared about not getting an A rank in this game. Because Sora's World That Never Was dive is Queen Buzzerfly 2. And for some reason on 60 FPS, this fight is slightly harder to one cycle. So it makes, and so you usually get 2 cycle, but sometimes you get 3 cycle. And if you get 3 cycle and it's slow 3 cycle, you don't get an A rank. So what you want is you either want, yes, this is the attack you want. So you either want her to do this, or you want a fast version of the. Thanks for hitting me out of that. So hopefully this fight goes fast. Because it's kind of hard to hit her. Like there.
You just got blocked 5 times in a row.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh no, I whiffed 5 times in a row.
Okay.
It's fine. And sometimes she'll do this. Faster! This is what happens sometimes. Oh, this is going to be tight now.
Yeah.
If I don't get it, I'll lose a bit of time. There's nothing I can do about it.
We'll just subtract the time from the timer. If we could get text off on that, that'll be great. Just remove 2 minutes. It didn't happen.
Oh, got a hit. There you
Okay.
go.
Should be good for time.
About.
I should be good.
Just about.
I should be good.
It was a quick third phase.
I don't remember what the time is, but it doesn't really matter if I don't get it. I'll just lose about a minute on the next fight. But I think it's about 2 minutes you get. Yes, so I was fine.
Woo.
It's 2 minutes and 10 seconds I think you get. I think, oh, it's about 1 minute 50, 2 minutes, so I'm fine there. So now the game forces you to drop to Riku for story reasons. It just goes, play as Riku, please.
Again, run out of content for Sora for this bit. Please change to Riku.
This game was made in the 90s. This would be a 2-disc game.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Definitely 2 disc.
One Sora, one Riku.
And to
please change disc.
And even worse, to contrast how stupid of a dive that one is for Sora, Riku's one is very easy. It's incredibly easy.
When do we find out if we have overcast for the next world?
In the next world.
Okay.
When
I just didn't know.
That's so sarcastic sounding.
I just don't know when it shows up.
Poor Salad.
I'm trying my best to answer good questions. You wanted us to do this. You should have started the run to ask questions.
I never said ask bad questions. Nice. So this one's incredibly easy compared to Sora's one. Sora gets a boss with a lot of RNG. Riku gets to just ride through some circles. And the A rank is given to you on a silver platter. Like, Riku has no issue getting dive ring, to be honest, but Sora, it's Queen Butterfly 2. That's the one that decides it. So I'll be able to give you an idea of if I've overcast about now. I should have it. Yeah, I have it.
Yeah.
Woo.
That RNG though.
Fast world.
I mean, I'm gonna lose it for one of the boss fights, but that's fine. It doesn't save enough time to warrant having it in that fight as well.
So in this section, we get a lot of cool looking reality shifts where there's a little white section in all of these grey chains, and when the white sections link together, you have to cut them with the laser thing.
It's actually one of the only reality shifts that got harder on PS4. Because on 3DS, you could slash in any direction.
With the
on,
stylus?
On the touch
bottom
screen, yeah.
Right.
On the touchscreen.
Yeah.
You can only go directly in front of you on the PS4 version, which is kind of annoying when you're trying to go speedy.
Are these enemies for experience, or are they required? Yeah.
They're for experience. I have to kill... Oh, I don't want to kill this guy. This guy... Oh, overcast, that's fine. I might need to kill some extra enemies on the way, but that's fine. I'm slightly short on EXP, that's fine. I'll just kill a couple of extra enemies on the way around. Sorry! He apologizes for hitting the ground.
The ground never did anything to him.
So he apologizes.
It's just the fastest way to like fall downwards is to slam your keyblade into it.
And I guess at this point in the story, let's talk about that for the first time.
That's not.
Okay, never mind. But you see Riku and Sora kind of joining up, and Sora looks a bit glitchy there. I guess it's kind of saying that they kind of linked up a bit more now towards the end of the game. I don't really know.
I don't know why they both appear here.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
oh
like,
well.
everyone likes to talk about Kingdom Hearts plot being complicated. For the most part, I think this is slightly unfair until you hit this game where it really does, in fact, just become a convoluted pile of nonsense. Because it involves time travel, somehow.
There is time travel. That's all you need to know.
Time travel.
Right, so I'm gonna put on my dive ring now, and you see it increases my magic by 1 stat, and that 1 stat is the most important.
Crucial stat. The most important stat that was ever
And
stated.
I do this with both Storm and Riku. You can actually change what like command your deck will reset to when you press the reset deck button. So instead of moving around commands to have both the cures at the bottom, I just put them in a place, and then I set the reset button thing to one of the balloons to make sure that whenever I reset the deck, it's a ballooner at the top, so I don't accidentally cure and miss out on any form of damage.
And you'll notice we're level 15 right now with Riku, and I'm guessing the battle level for this world is somewhere around 40, 50?
About that.
Yeah. We don't even know. It doesn't matter.
I wasn't even looking this time.
That's fine. I've got really itchy ear. But this animation gives you so much time. I usually like, this is like the bit of the game where you can actually kind of stop and have a drink because it plays all these unskippable cutscenes.
Just take a sip of your tea.
Tea? No, I have water like a real person.
Like a real person. People who
real
don't
person.
water are not real people.
If you drink tea, you're not real.
I mean, technically tea has water in it, so...
This event sponsored by Red Bull. Drink Red Bull.
Replace your water with the man's drink.
Drink Red Bull in your tea.
Whoa, use that instead of water.
Try something new.
Red Bull, gamer fuel.
I'm not opening on stream. I'm scared.
Repping that red
That one's been in my bag for I don't know how long, so it's probably fizzed to hell and back.
I like how after he apologized to that first one, he hasn't apologized to any of the other ones.
I won't apologise to any other ground.
Like, I think he just has, like, feelings for the one that he said sorry to.
One almost slightly prettier than the rest.
Yeah. The blue on its left side is slightly bluer than the others. Oh, right, so the boss fight that I'm coming up on is actually, it's not hard, it's just he's got a move that can, that if he hits me with it, there's a very high possibility that I will die in 1 hit, because it's a move that drains you down to 1 HP, regardless of how much you're at, and before you can do anything, the game has to drop you down, but by the time you get to the ground, he's usually in your face or shooting something at you. So hopefully, he won't give me that attack. With Overcast, you're not likely to see it, but it can still happen, and if it does, I die, oh well. There's not much I can do about it. And it's one of the only annoying things. Yeah, it doesn't do that in JP, but it doesn't in English.
Yeah, it does. It's not in the Japanese version. You don't get snapped off the pipe like that, or you land on the pipe. Yep, goes
What?
crazy. English exclusive.
Love this one.
Gee,
Or when
thanks,
you land on it and you land on it clearly forwards and it snaps you back.
Those blind camera turn around.
Like that.
The blind camera shot, yeah, like that, and that happens as well. So the next fight here, I should probably do that. So the next fight here is anti-black coat.
I would actually really love to know why the pipes screw up on English but not on Japanese.
I would
That
like to know why
fascinate me.
it's called anti-black coat.
I don't know why he's called anti-black coat.
He's wearing a black coat.
And you'll see
So
how
he's
much-
definitely not anti-black coat. He's for them.
you'll see how much more damage my ballooners are actually doing.
An advocate.
So again, Overcast doing a lot of damage here. Spirit Roar would stack, and we'd be doing a little bit more damage, but still very
Still
fast
pretty
fight so
fast.
far.
There's the
And
drain.
the draining move happened.
I'm just gonna back off and cure.
Okay.
So that is the drain move. Oh, and something else about this guy. You know the little HP orbs that are around? He can pick them up and they actually like heal
Seriously?
him.
Wow.
They heal him.
We didn't die.
He can cure himself. So that was very lucky. I got hit by the move that drains you to 1 HP, and he. I think what happened was one of my magic lapins slapped him, so he got stunned.
And luckily, your one of your cure commands recovered in like 2 seconds after that move hit, so you're able to cure pretty quickly.
So, and now the game throws you straight into Ansem 1, and then afterwards throws you straight into Ansem 2. So in this first bit, you want to make you want to make sure that you do the reality shift, and you want to complete it. It's not necessarily faster, but when you're in the air, you don't have your Dream Eaters with you, and when you're on the ground bit here, your Dream Eaters are there, and they have the potential to give you more Spirit Rolls. Only the potential, not
not guaranteed.
It's been a while since
It's
we've
never
received one.
guaranteed, indeed. It's like there's some parts of getting Overcast is random, getting Spirit Rolls is random, or the other weather forecasts are also random. DDD is quite a random kind of speedrun. Good luck can make a lot up for you.
But this fight is very, very quick anyway.
That
As you
went-
can
that
see,
went
his
well.
bar got depleted
Yeah, that
very
went well.
quickly.
So well, usually with Overcast, the boss fight after this is usually DM-less. Usually. You can get pushed
You've
back
just
and you can
jinxed
get
it.
DM'd.
You've just jinxed it, Rebel. It is no longer going to be DM-less.
You're gonna have.
I mean,
all
it
the
really
DMs.
doesn't matter if it is.
You're going to die 6 times to this fight now.
Wow.
Oh, the PM.
That'll be fine.
And you see how much damage
Yeah,
Overcast
it
really
gets
does.
the balloon inside, and then it all pops immediately, and whoosh! That was like a bar and change.
And if you do this reality shift, it actually stuns him. And you do it carefully. It actually stuns him and gives you way more time to get DM-less. You only tend to see it if like you have Overcast, because you have to do enough damage to him in a very short amount of time. Drain is not useful,
Just 'cause
guys.
he got drained. That's not Spirit Roll.
And then he'll automatically start this move here. But 3 balloon rollers. There you go. Well,
Very
2.
nice fight.
DM-less.
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 Well,
DM-less Ansem 2.
he started his DM, which is when he makes the floor go dark and all the pillars come up. But the actual DM is when he flings you back and he fires a bunch of orbs out
Yeah.
at you that do a surprisingly large amount of damage. I mean, I'm level 15, so obviously, like, my defense is abysmal compared to.
And so is your attack.
Defense. Only magic and balloon.
Now I dropped to Sora.
Balloon magic. Wow. Like a magician.
Magician. So I've already done Sora's command, so I've only got to put the dive wing on him. Now I can do that. Now Sora basically just has a bit of movement into his next boss fight, which is Zemnis. Wow, I dropped a bit there. That's fine. Oh, also, do you like how my Jumius weren't healed?
Nope. Still low health.
So I'm going to super glide over to this building here, and while it's raising up, I'm going to cure them. That was not. You meant to end the cure before that, but it's fine. I'll just flow motion up this building here, and then it flings you upwards, and you can just super glide. So Sora gets more of an outside perspective of World That Never Was. Riku's is kind of an more indoors kind of area. Yep. So the game hints at here that you're meant to stand on this and wait for it to fling you upwards, but it's just faster to flow motion up it, because it takes forever to charge it up. So you can see it's about to start it up there, but you can just do that rather than waiting for it. Now, Sora's version of this is actually looks slightly different on the chains for some reason, and it's called Nightmare's End for Sora. It's called something different for Riku.
Mirage split.
Yes, that's it. I didn't look because I forget the names of all the reality shifts in this game.
I didn't look either, I just know.
Oh, do you just know?
Yeah.
Wow.
For some reason, that's the one detail I remember. I have played this game, you know, shockingly enough.
Shockingly.
Shockingly.
This place is infamous because usually sometimes Dream Eaters will just spam Spirit Roll on you while you're walking through this area. It's happened to many people where they don't use Spirit Rolls on them for the whole run, and then they'll just spam them on them here when there are no enemies around.
What determines whether or not a Dream Eater even uses Spirit Roar to begin with?
It's completely random.
Just totally random.
Basically,
like, not affected by anything.
It's slightly affected by affinity. So usually we start with affinity at level 9 because when they take damage, their affinity lowers. It's kind of like how happiness works in Pokemon. And if their affinity hits 0, they get silenced, so they can't cast anything. So that's the reason why we start with it as high as possible.
Yeah, but otherwise they just use Spirit Roar literally whenever the hell they feel like it.
Yes.
Brilliant.
Yes.
Brilliant.
They sometimes just go, you know what, time for Spirit Roar, guys. So, Zemnis will throw buildings at you. Oh, lovely, one of them. So this is what happens when Dream Eaters get knocked out. And you...
Yeah, this is a bit scary. Oh, you got Spirit Roar at least for your troubles.
Yes.
Now for damage. He's up there, he is. That was so... You got like 2 bars off him in one go there.
So...
The balloons go around the barrier.
Oh, no, don't you dare do that. Thank God. That attack there can one-shot you if, like, stuff doesn't go your way. I'm not gonna...
Are you playing risky? Nah, he goes for the heal. Got the Spirit Roar again, though.
Yes. He did
Right in time for the DM.
He did the attack that actually one-shots you 3 times in a row there, and I managed to avoid it. So I do this attack, the link with the Dream Eaters here, because they like to run towards Zemnis and take damage for no reason at all. So I usually end it there when there's like
you don't
one
do that
building
for your
left.
safety, you do that to keep them out of it. Because look at them heavily bouncing towards it. Bodied, free.
And there's actually a reality shift that shows up here, but we don't do it. We just take the building to the face, because if you do it, for the rest of the fight, Zemnis has super armor. So he just doesn't get stunned.
Oh, brilliant. Just eat a building to the face to go fast.
And then the reason why I super glide back to my Dream Eaters is because otherwise they spend forever trying to... I'm going to try and dodge that. Otherwise your Dream Eaters spend forever trying to run up to you.
Yeah, which takes away from the possibility
Potential
of them
of
using
using
Spirit
Spirit
Roar.
Roar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they ain't got a very high movement speed.
It turns out they don't want to use Spirit Roar anyway.
And it's actually kind of useful when Zemnis doesn't get all the stuff popped on him at once, because he gets stunned more if balloons are attacking him from random angles.
Oh, there's the Spirit Roar. Right at the end.
And right at the end,
But the last hit.
last hit.
I like how the barrier move just... Balloon doesn't care about it at all.
No, it does actually burst on the inside of it, but when you stand right at the edge and cast it, it spawns on the
It
outside
either
of the door.
spawns through it, or the balloons kind of like take the path around it.
Yeah. So now the game forces you back to Riku again. So you drop to Sora to do that one fight, and then it goes, oh, you need to play Riku again now. So, and Sora's actually no longer available and in the story. It's signified by there's no drop gauge anymore. It just disappears when you beat that boss as Sora. Because in the story, Sora gets taken by Xehanort. Get naughted is the new is the new term on the block.
That's what the cool kids say.
Yes.
That terminology makes no sense, but I really can't think of any other way to say it.
Yes. So now we're fighting the time-traveled younger version of Xehanort. We weren't lying when it says time travel.
Yeah, no.
And hopefully, yes, he got slapped. It does nothing, but it is funny. He will teleport behind you sometimes, and your magic Lapin will just slap him in the face. And I'm trying to make sure that balloons are going around him. There's a Spirit Roar.
Spirit Roar?
Not bad Spirit Roar, lad.
And I'm going back to the middle to make sure that thank you for the
another
Spirit Roar.
Roar. Although it's probably not going to last for
It won't.
to get through the real age.
So the way this fight works is after you kill his first set of HP bars, you have to do this, and then I have to wait for it now. And then there's a timed bit after this where you have to destroy the clock in a certain amount of time. Otherwise, the fight resets. So you can use a couple of balloons on here while there's no HP bar. The boss still takes the damage, but I need to wait until stuff comes out. The boss still takes the damage, but you can't target it. So I just jump over all the attacks that he throws at me. I'm gonna make sure I kill. So
Hey, Spirit Roar.
Spirit Roar?
Groovy. Did the drain replace the
It
spirit
doesn't
roll?
replace it.
Okay. I wouldn't.
And now that he's done with that attack, I can just go.
That's big damage.
I'm going to kill to make sure that when he's... Yes.
See, there's that animation cancelling really helping him out there. Just spam
Very
those
good
balloons
fight.
with impunity.
Yeah. Cross
quite
slash
good.
is like the best attack that he can attack you with on the second phase.
Getting good spirit roll luck with these.
Decent enough.
Decent
spirit
enough.
luck.
Not like perfect, but like
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to get perfect luck with this game.
Right, so there's one more dive that I've got to complete before you get to the actual final boss of this game.
And it's a fantastic dive, where you
Yes.
basically just get to touch Sora a lot. I worded that very wrongly. You do this dive,
Oh, okay.
and
yeah, if you
there
say so.
there are a bunch of Soras just flying in the air, and Riku sort of collects them on his way down.
Yes. The dive doesn't end when you tag the 30 Soras. It ends when you get to the end. You just got to tag 30 of them to unlock the door. And there are way more than 30 here. Oh, nice whiff, dude. Oh, lovely. And it doesn't matter how you tag them. You can touch them. You can attack them. Because you know, we're trying to save our friends, so I nearly said thrusting into him is okay, but that's like
maybe not.
Thank you for overshadowing my previous comment. Mine seems like nothing compared to what you just said. Excellent.
right. So now we are fighting Armored Ventus Nightmare. Is the official boss's name?
The final boss of the game?
Oh, my balloon's there. So this is the fight where spirit rolls are really needed. This attack here is just a move where you can't do anything to him. You just have to wait for it to finish. So we call these things white rooms, and your Dream Eaters disappear during white rooms, which is very, very useful because, you know. And they disappear during this one as well. But this one, he just relentlessly attacks you. And it's very, very common to die in this one. Because he just does nothing but come at you. So I just usually just try and dodge him. He can actually get stunned during this one, which is very, very useful. I'm not getting very good spirit roll luck here, but that's fine. He's actually staying out on the field a lot more than he usually does. That was a waste of a white room for him. It's fine. So usually this fight is you just blindly spirit roll, and lovely, as he started a white room. So this fight is usually you just blindly balloon and hopefully enough hits him. And if you get like 2 or 3 spirit rolls in good places and he doesn't white room a bunch, then this fight can take no time at all, but sometimes this fight takes like way more time than needed. So now he goes to the middle and starts a little shot lock thing. So this is another place where English loses time to Japanese. On Japanese, he starts attacking you straight away. On English, he doesn't for a little bit. But and time is when this attack hits.
And
so
he got button.
Extremely anime final hit. Whoosh. Smash that time
Woof.
button if you up.
There it is. Dream drop distance.
that is dream drop distance. Was the donation incentive for Julius met or not? Nope. Okay, cool. Nope. So that is it for dream drop distance. The game goes into like 15 minutes worth of credits here, so I'm just going to reset. Have you guys got anything to end on? From Balloon?
Well, first of all, 2:07:41 is a really good time. I
Yeah?
think we were looking at like sub 2:10 going into this would be a good showing, and
Yeah.
we managed to do that really well.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
There were
Yeah.
some parts where the RNG was on our favor and some parts where it wasn't, but
Yeah.
overall, really good run.
Not
So-
5 minutes overestimate.
Not 5 minutes.
Not
over
5
estimate.
minutes overestimate would be a
Don't
very
be
disappointing
mean.
showing of a Kingdom Hearts game.
Don't be mean.
So to end off, I just want to shout out all the DDD runners, especially the old people who used to run on 3DS, because that was a lot of fun back in the day. And now that we've actually got more optimal stuff for this game, it's much more fun. It's a very fun race game if you ever want to try it. So That's it from us.
Want to see more Kingdom Hearts run? The boy himself will be
Yes.
running Birth by Sleep later in the marathon. But up next we have Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, I think. I hope I'm not wrong about that. 'cause I
Oh,
look like a tit if I'm not.
skateboarder.
Don't know. The audience has no context for these jokes, man. Come on.
I think that's the point where we cut.
That's it.
Yeah,
we got
that's
it. We're
it.
done
Thank
here.
you very
That's
much.
it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Can
you.
I do a quick donation for you?
Of course.
Yes, please.
Okay, so Anonymous donated $20 saying just dropping $20 on an underrated game and amazing runner. Thank you.
Oh,
Go.
Thank you.
That's
That's a
really nice.
very nice comment.
That's no
nice
to
to
end
end on.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.